Hello everyone! Oh, it's just lovely to see you all here. Now, pull up a chair, get comfy, because today I'm thrilled to take you on an incredible journey through one of the most fascinating countries in the world, Switzerland. Honestly, it's a place that's got more layers than a particularly fancy cake. You think you know it, mountains, chocolate, clocks, but that's just the delicious icing on top. There is so much more going on underneath that is just begging to be discovered. It's a spectacular little country, absolutely bursting with stunning landscapes, a rich, complicated history that would make for a brilliant drama series, and a unique blend of cultures that all just somehow works. Now you might be thinking, James, what more is there to know? Well, let me tell you, plenty. We're going to dive into some truly mind-boggling things that make Switzerland tick. And I promise it's not all about yodeling and fondue, though we might touch on that too because, well, who doesn't love melted cheese? We're talking about feats of engineering that will make your jaw drop, a political system that is utterly unique, and a cultural scene that is as vibrant and modern as anywhere on the planet. This isn't just a geography lesson, it's a peek behind the curtain of a country that has perfected the art of being, well, perfect. So get ready for a whirlwind tour that will challenge everything you thought you knew. We're going to uncover secrets hidden in plain sight, from the tops of its majestic Alps to the depths of its crystal-clear lakes. It's a story of innovation, tradition, and breathtaking beauty. So, sit back, relax, and let me share with you 20 mind-blowing facts about this remarkable country that will leave you inspired and eager to learn more. Let's get started, shall we? Right, let's get our first little surprising fact out of the way. When you picture a holiday paradise, you often think of sandy beaches and the sea, don't you? Well, Switzerland looks at the ocean and says, no thank you, we'll make our own water features. It's completely landlocked, not a sniff of salty sea air to be found. It's nestled right in the heart of Europe, hugged by France, Germany, Italy, Austria, and little Liechtenstein. You might think that's a bit of a disadvantage, a bit of a geographical snub, but oh, you would be so wrong. What it lacks in coastline, it more than makes up for with an absolutely absurd number of lakes. We're talking over 1,500 of them. And these aren't just murky ponds, they are vast, crystal-clear bodies of water that are so stunningly blue, they look like they've been photoshopped by Mother Nature herself. You've got the enormous Lake Geneva, the beautiful Lake Lucerne surrounded by mountains. It's just endless. It's a paradise for anyone who loves being near the water, whether you're into sailing, paddleboarding, or just sitting by the shore with a picnic, feeling terribly sophisticated. And this abundance of natural water combined with the epic mountains we'll get to in a moment, makes it an absolute playground for outdoor lovers. In the summer, the entire country transforms into a network of hiking and biking trails that meander through lush green valleys and past these incredible lakes. You can spend your morning trekking up a mountain, and your afternoon swimming in a glacial lake. So, who needs a beach? Switzerland proves that being landlocked isn't a limitation, it's an invitation to explore a different and, dare I say, more majestic kind of beauty. Now, you can't talk about Switzerland without talking about the mountains. It would be like talking about me without mentioning my fabulous red chair. The Swiss Alps are not just a backdrop, they are the very soul of the country. They cover a staggering 60% of Switzerland's land area. These aren't just rolling hills, my friends. We're talking about some of the highest, most dramatic, and downright terrifyingly beautiful peaks in all of Europe. 48 of them are over 4,000 meters, which is just, well, it's very high. Think of the names that are just legendary. The Matterhorn, with its iconic crooked-toothed peak that looks like it was designed for a chocolate box. Then there's the Eiger and the Jungfrau, a trio of giants that have captivated mountaineers and artists for centuries. Standing in their presence is a truly humbling experience. You feel incredibly small in the best possible way. It's this raw, untamed power of nature that defines so much of the Swiss identity. It's a landscape that demands respect and rewards you with views that will be seared into your memory forever. And of course, when winter rolls around, this rocky wonderland transforms. The Alps become one of the world's premier destinations for winter sports. We're talking skiing, snowboarding, sledging. If you can do it on snow, the Swiss have a ridiculously scenic place for you to do it. Resorts like St. Moritz, Zermatt, and Verbier are legendary, attracting everyone from glamorous celebrities to families on their annual ski trip. But it's more than just a holiday spot. The Alpine culture, with its cozy chalets, hearty food, and traditions born from living in such a demanding environment, is a fundamental part of what makes Switzerland, Switzerland. Now this is where it gets really clever. Most countries are happy to muddle along with one official language, maybe two if they're feeling adventurous. But Switzerland? Oh no, that's not nearly complicated enough for them. They went ahead and made 4 languages official, that's right, 4. You've got German, spoken by the majority, French in the west, Italian in the south, and then the really special one, Romansh, which is an ancient language spoken by just a tiny fraction of the population. It's a true cultural mosaic. Imagine just hopping on a train. You could start your day in Zurich ordering a café in German, have lunch in Geneva and ask for a café in French, and then pop down to Lugano for an evening café in Italian. It's like a little European tour all within one country. And this isn't just a trivial fact, it shapes everything. Product packaging, official documents, train announcements, everything is a masterclass in multilingualism. It means the Swiss are naturally open-minded, constantly navigating these different cultural currents. This linguistic diversity is at the very heart of the Swiss identity. They don't just tolerate these different languages, they celebrate them. It's a testament to their ability to create unity out of diversity. Each language region has its own distinct character, its own architecture, its own cuisine, its own way of doing things. You cross a linguistic border, and it genuinely feels like you've entered a new country. It's this incredible blend of cultures, all living together under one square flag, that makes Switzerland one of the most uniquely fascinating places to explore. It's not a melting pot, it's more like a fondue pot with different delicious things to dip in. The Swiss have a bit of a thing with mountains. They see a giant, impassable wall of rock, and where most of us would say, right, we'll have to go around, the Swiss say, hold my Toblerone, we're going through it. And honestly, their crowning achievement in this regard is the Gotthard Base Tunnel. This isn't just any tunnel, it is the longest and deepest railway tunnel in the entire world. It's a mind-boggling 57 kilometers long. That's actually longer than the drive from Dover to Calais. It's an absolute marvel of modern engineering. Building this thing was an epic undertaking. It took them 17 years. They had to bore through the very heart of the Alps, with up to 2,300 meters of solid rock above their heads. I mean, the sheer scale of the project is almost impossible to comprehend. They removed more rock than it took to build the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's a testament to Swiss precision, planning, and just sheer bloody-minded determination. They decided they needed a faster way to get from north to south, and they simply made it happen, blasting and drilling their way into the history books. And what's the result of all this Herculean effort? Well, it's completely revolutionized travel across Europe. High-speed passenger trains now zip through the mountain in about 20 minutes, cutting the journey time between Zurich and Milan significantly. It's also a massive boost for freight transport, moving millions of tons of goods off the roads and onto the rails, which is much better for the environment. So the next time you hear about Swiss efficiency, think of the Gotthard Base Tunnel. It's a silent, hidden superstar that embodies their ability to conquer nature itself for the sake of progress. Ah, the Swiss watch. It's not just a way to tell the time, is it? It's a statement. It's a piece of art you wear on your wrist. When someone says Swiss-made, you immediately think of quality, luxury, and a kind of precision that is almost obsessive. And that reputation is thoroughly, utterly deserved. For centuries, Swiss watchmakers have been the undisputed kings of horology, which is a very fancy word for clockmaking. It's an industry that perfectly blends age-old tradition with cutting-edge, space-age technology. The story began hundreds of years ago in places like Geneva and the Jura Mountains, where skilled artisans, often working in quiet chalets during the long winters, began crafting these incredibly intricate mechanical movements. It was a tradition passed down through generations, a closely guarded secret of cogs, springs, and gears. These weren't just timepieces, they were miniature mechanical wonders, a symphony of moving parts working in perfect harmony. And that legacy of craftsmanship is still alive and well today in brands that are household names. Rolex, Patek Philippe, Omega, the list is a who's who of luxury. But what I find fascinating is that they haven't just rested on their laurels. They're constantly innovating. They're experimenting with new materials like ceramic and titanium, creating watches that can withstand the deepest oceans or the vacuum of space. An Omega was the first watch on the moon, for goodness sake. So a Swiss watch is this beautiful paradox. It's a piece of history, a nod to a centuries-old craft, but it's also a marvel of modern engineering. It's the epitome of what the Swiss do best, taking something traditional and perfecting it for the modern world with breathtaking precision. Now let's move on to something that's a little bit easier on the wallet but no less luxurious. Swiss chocolate. Oh, be still my beating heart. The Swiss don't just make chocolate, they have a deep, profound, and passionate relationship with it. And it shows. They are consistently among the top consumers of chocolate in the world, eating around 10 to 12 kilos per person per year. That's not just having a square after dinner, that is a serious national commitment to cocoa. And frankly, I respect it. Why is it so good? Well, it all comes down to two things: incredible ingredients and a revolutionary invention. They use the highest quality milk, which, coming from those happy alpine cows, is wonderfully creamy. But the real game changer was when a man named Rodolphe Lindt invented the conching machine back in 1879. This machine stirs and aerates the liquid chocolate for hours, sometimes days, which creates that incredibly smooth, melt-in-your-mouth texture that Swiss chocolate is famous for. It was a moment that changed the chocolate world forever, and they love to share their passion. A visit to a Swiss chocolate factory like the Lindt home of chocolate near Zurich with its giant chocolate fountain, or the Maison Caillé in Brock, is a truly magical experience. It's a Willy Wonka fantasy come to life. You get to see the process, learn the history, and most importantly, sample the goods. It's an essential part of any trip to Switzerland, so forget the diet for a day. Indulge, because eating Swiss chocolate in Switzerland is not just a snack, it's a cultural experience. You often hear that Switzerland has a high quality of life, but honestly that's a bit of an understatement. It's like saying the Pope is a bit religious. Swiss cities like Zurich, Geneva, and Bern consistently rank at the very top of global surveys for the best places to live, and well, when you look at the reasons why, it's easy to see. We're talking about a fantastic combination of high salaries, stunning natural surroundings right on your doorstep, and public services that just work beautifully. The healthcare system is one of the best in the world. The public transport is so punctual you could, well, set your Swiss watch by it. The cities are spotlessly clean. I mean, you could probably eat your dinner off the pavement, though I wouldn't recommend it. The restaurant food is much better. There's this underlying sense of order and efficiency that makes daily life incredibly smooth and stress-free. It's a society that values well-being, and they've built the infrastructure to support it, and a huge part of that quality of life is the feeling of safety. Switzerland has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. You can walk through the cities late at night and feel completely at ease. There's a deep-seated sense of community and respect. People look out for each other. It all contributes to this atmosphere of calm and security. It's a country where you can truly relax and enjoy the finer things in life, knowing that the fundamentals are all taken care of. It's not just a rich country, it's a country that is rich in well-being. Now for a bit of history and politics, but don't worry, I'll make it interesting. Switzerland has a very unique position on the world stage. It is famously, staunchly neutral. And it's not a recent thing. They haven't fought in a foreign war since 1815. Think about that for a moment. Through 2 world wars and the Cold War, while Europe was tearing itself apart, Switzerland remained this little island of peace, right in the middle of it all. It's a policy that is enshrined in their constitution and a deep part of their national identity. This neutrality isn't about being passive or disinterested, far from it. They've cleverly turned their neutrality into a major asset. Because they don't take sides, they become the world's go-to place for diplomacy and peacemaking. Geneva in particular is a global hub for international organizations. It's the home of the European headquarters of the United Nations, the Red Cross, the World Health Organization. The list goes on and on. It's where enemies come to talk, where crucial treaties are signed, and where humanitarian efforts are coordinated. So, while their army hasn't been in a fight for over 200 years, don't think they're defenseless. Oh no. They have a system of mandatory military service for all male citizens, and the country is said to be rigged with explosives to blow up every major access point in case of an invasion. There's an old saying, Switzerland doesn't have an army, Switzerland is an army. They are committed to peace, but they are very, very prepared to defend it. It's a fascinating paradox, the peaceful mediator with a sting in its tail. Let's talk about money, darling. Because let's be honest, Switzerland has quite a lot of it. It is consistently ranked as one of the wealthiest countries in the world per capita. You can feel it when you're there. It's not flashy or gaudy, not in a look at my solid gold sports car kind of way. It's a quiet, confident wealth. It's in the perfectly maintained buildings, the flawless public infrastructure, the quality of the goods in the shops. It's an understated prosperity that permeates every aspect of society. Now, everyone immediately thinks of Swiss banks, and yes, the financial sector is a huge part of their economy. Zurich is a major global financial center, and Swiss banks are famous for their stability and, shall we say, their discretion. For centuries, they've been the safe haven for the world's money. But to think that Switzerland is just about banking is a massive oversimplification. Their economy is incredibly diverse and robust, which is the secret to their success. They are world leaders in pharmaceuticals and life sciences, with giants like Roche and Novartis based there. They are masters of high-tech engineering, chemicals, and of course luxury goods like watches and chocolate. It's an economy built on quality, innovation, and a highly skilled workforce. They don't compete on price. They compete on being the absolute best. This economic powerhouse status gives them a huge amount of influence on the world stage, far greater than you'd expect for a small, landlocked country. One of the most charming things about Switzerland is how its cities manage to be both historic and incredibly modern at the same time. They're not museum pieces, stuck in the past. They are vibrant, living cities that have beautifully integrated their rich history into a forward-thinking, contemporary lifestyle. Each major city has its own unique personality, its own special flavor that makes it worth visiting. It's a delightful blend of cobblestone streets and cutting-edge architecture. Take Zurich, for example. It's the country's economic engine, a bustling hub of banking and business. But you can wander just a few steps away from the main shopping street, the Bahnhofstrasse, and find yourself in the charming medieval alleyways of the old town, the Altstadt. You can spend your morning in a trendy minimalist cafe and your afternoon exploring a Romanesque church. It's this seamless transition between centuries that is so captivating. Then you have Geneva, the cosmopolitan city of peace, nestled on its beautiful lake with the famous Jet d'eau fountain. It feels grand and international. Contrast that with Bern, the capital, which has a much more relaxed, almost fairy tale-like quality. Its entire old town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with its sandstone buildings and covered arcades, and Lucerne with its iconic chapel bridge and stunning lakeside setting, feels like it's been plucked straight from a storybook. Each city is a destination in itself, offering a different window into the Swiss soul. Now, this is a stereotype that is 100% absolutely unequivocally true. The Swiss are obsessed with punctuality, and I mean, being late is not just considered rude, it's seen as a moral failing, a sign of disrespect and a complete lack of organization. If a train is scheduled to leave at 10 o'clock and 3 minutes, it will not leave at 10 o'clock and 4 minutes. It will leave at 10 o'clock and 3 minutes, and if you are running down the platform at 10 o'clock, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, well, you'll have a lovely view of its rear end as it disappears. This isn't just about public transport, it applies to everything. Business meetings, social gatherings, even a casual coffee with a friend. If you agree to meet at 2 p.m., you should be there at 1:55 p.m., ready and waiting. Turning up at 2 o'clock and 5 minutes requires a very, very good excuse, probably involving a minor natural disaster or a run-in with a bear. It's a cultural value that is instilled from a young age. It's the idea that your time is valuable and so is everyone else's. And while it might sound a bit strict to outsiders, it actually makes life run incredibly smoothly. You can rely on things. You know that connections will work, that schedules will be kept, that people will do what they say they will do, when they say they will do it. It creates a society with very little friction and a huge amount of trust. It's the invisible oil that keeps the intricate clockwork of Swiss society ticking along perfectly. So, a little tip, if you ever visit, buy a good watch and use it. Here's a fact that is genuinely mind-blowing and makes Switzerland's political system one of the most unique in the world. The politicians in the capital, Bern, don't have the final say on the laws. The Swiss people do. This is called direct democracy, and they take the direct part very, very seriously. Any citizen can challenge a law passed by Parliament. All they need to do is collect 50,000 signatures within 100 days, and the law will be put to a national vote. But it goes even further than that. Citizens can also propose their own amendments to the Constitution. If they can gather 100,000 signatures in 18 months, they can force a nationwide referendum on pretty much any topic they want. This means the Swiss vote on things constantly, usually about 4 times a year. They're not just voting for people, they're voting on specific issues, from major policies on immigration and taxes to more local matters like the construction of a new swimming pool. This system gives the average citizen an incredible amount of power and responsibility. It fosters a culture of debate and engagement, because people know their opinion genuinely matters and can lead to real change. It can sometimes make the process of government slow and deliberate, but it also ensures that the laws of the land have the broad support of the population. It's a system built on trust in the wisdom of the people, and it's a cornerstone of their stable and successful society. You see flags everywhere, but have you ever really looked closely at the Swiss flag? It's a bit of an odd one out. While almost every other national flag in the world is a rectangle, the Swiss flag is a perfect square. It's one of only 2 square sovereign state flags in the world, the other being the Vatican City. So it's in very holy and very precise company. That bold white cross on a red background is simple, iconic, and instantly recognizable. The flag has a history that goes way back to the battlefields of the late Middle Ages. Swiss Confederate troops used to stitch white crosses onto their clothing to identify each other in the heat of battle. This simple symbol of unity and faith eventually evolved into the national banner. The red field is said to symbolize the blood of Christ, while the white cross represents the Christian faith. It's a flag born from a need for identity and a declaration of shared values. And here's a little detail I love. The symbol of the Red Cross is actually a direct tribute to the Swiss flag. The founder of the Red Cross, a Swiss man named Henry Dunant, inverted the colors of his home country's flag to create the emblem for his new humanitarian organization in 1864. It was a sign of respect for Switzerland's tradition of neutrality and peace. So that simple square flag is not just a national symbol. It's a symbol that has inspired one of the most important humanitarian movements in world history. For a country that's so famous for being orderly and, well, a little bit serious, Switzerland has a surprisingly wild and vibrant cultural side. It's not all just banking and yodeling, you know. There's a thriving art scene with world-class museums, incredible music festivals, and some wonderfully bizarre local traditions that are just brilliant. The cultural calendar is absolutely packed, offering something for every taste, from the highbrow to the gloriously silly. In the summer, the country comes alive with music. The Montreux Jazz Festival is legendary, attracting the biggest names in music to the shores of Lake Geneva for 2 weeks of incredible performances. You've also got massive open-air rock festivals like Paleo. On the more classical side, the Lucerne Festival is one of the most prestigious in the world for orchestral music. And the art scene is just as impressive. The Kunsthaus in Zurich and the Foundation Beiler near Basel house some of the most important collections of modern art in Europe. But what I find most charming are the local traditions. You have things like the Fasnacht in Basel, a massive, chaotic 3-day carnival that feels like a citywide pagan party. There are cow parades, where farmers dress up their cows with huge ornate bells and flowers to lead them down from the mountains in autumn. There are wrestling festivals, flag-throwing competitions, and Alphorn concerts. It's this rich tapestry of events that shows the playful, creative, and deeply traditional soul that lies just beneath Switzerland's polished surface. The Swiss don't just build smart tunnels and clever watches, they build smart people. There is a profound and deep-seated respect for education and knowledge in Swiss culture. This isn't just about getting a job, it's about a genuine belief in the value of learning and self-improvement. The country boasts one of the highest literacy rates in the world, hovering at a near-perfect 99%. Education is seen as a fundamental pillar of their society and their success. The education system itself is renowned for its quality and its dual approach. Alongside a strong academic path that leads to university, they have an incredibly well-regarded vocational and apprenticeship system. From a young age, students can choose to learn a practical trade, combining classroom study with hands-on work experience. This ensures a highly skilled workforce across all sectors, from bakers and mechanics to lab technicians, and of course watchmakers. It's a system that values practical skills just as much as academic theory. And when it comes to higher education, Switzerland punches way above its weight. Universities like ETH Zurich, which is Albert Einstein's alma mater by the way, and EPFL in Lausanne are consistently ranked among the best in the world, particularly in science and engineering. They are magnets for top students and researchers from all over the globe. This commitment to creating and attracting the brightest minds is a key ingredient in the secret sauce of Swiss innovation, which we'll get to next. When you think of innovation, you might think of Silicon Valley, but you should also be thinking of the Alpine valleys. Switzerland is, per capita, one of the most innovative countries on the planet. They consistently top the Global Innovation Index, and for a very good reason. They have created a perfect ecosystem where science, business, and education all work together to create groundbreaking new ideas and technologies. It's in their DNA to constantly ask, how can we make this better? This tiny country has produced an astonishing number of Nobel laureates, over 24 of them, which is more than many much larger nations. From Albert Einstein developing his theory of relativity in Bern, to the discoveries made at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research near Geneva, where the World Wide Web was invented, Switzerland has been at the forefront of scientific discovery for over a century. They invest heavily in research and development, understanding that today's ideas are tomorrow's economy. This culture of innovation isn't just confined to huge research labs, it filters down into all aspects of their industry. It's why their pharmaceuticals are so advanced, why their machinery is so precise, and why even their food production uses cutting-edge technology. They have a talent for taking a complex scientific principle and turning it into a high-quality, reliable product that the world wants to buy. They are a nation of inventors, thinkers, and perfectionists, and it's this relentless drive for innovation that keeps them ahead of the curve. Now, let's talk about the people, because a country is more than just its mountains and its banks. And it has to be said there is a certain elegance and charisma to the Swiss, which is particularly noticeable in Swiss women. It's something that is admired internationally. It's not an overt, flashy glamour, but rather a quiet, confident style. It's a chic, understated elegance that seems to come so naturally. You see it in the way they dress, in the way they carry themselves. It's effortlessly polished. There's a sense of self-assurance and independence. Perhaps it comes from growing up in a country that values education, competence, and self-reliance. Swiss women are often multilingual, well-traveled, and highly educated. They are active participants in all areas of society, from business and politics to the arts and sciences. This creates a kind of confidence that is incredibly attractive. It's a beauty that is more than skin deep. It's rooted in intelligence and capability, and of course living in a country like Switzerland promotes a healthy, active lifestyle. The proximity to nature means that hiking, skiing, and just being outdoors are a normal part of life. This contributes to a natural vitality and a healthy glow that no cosmetic product can replicate. So it's this wonderful combination of natural beauty, sophisticated style, and an intelligent, confident spirit that creates that unique and admired charisma of Swiss women. It's a reflection of the country itself, elegant, capable, and quietly impressive. We've touched on this before, but honestly it's worth its own special mention because it's just so key to understanding the country's resilience. The Swiss economy is like a champion decathlete. It's not just good at one thing, it's excellent at many. While banking and watches get all the headlines, they're really just two players on a very, very strong team. This incredible diversity is the secret to Switzerland's economic stability. If one sector has a tough year, there are plenty of others to pick up the slack. The pharmaceutical and chemical industries are absolute giants. Companies like Roche and Novartis are global leaders, and the Basel region is one of the most important life sciences hubs in the world. Then there's the food industry. Nestlé, the world's largest food company, is Swiss. They're not just making chocolate, they're a powerhouse in everything from coffee to baby food. It's a massive global operation that started in this small European nation. And let's not forget high-precision engineering and machinery. The same skills that go into making a tiny watch movement are also used to create incredibly complex medical devices, manufacturing equipment, and components for the aerospace industry. They make the tools that make the tools. And then there's tourism, a huge industry built on the country's natural beauty. So when you add it all up, finance, watches, pharma, food, engineering, tourism, you have an economy that is incredibly robust, innovative, and built to last. With all that stunning natural beauty, it's really no surprise that the Swiss are fiercely protective of their environment. They have a deep-seated respect for nature, born from living in its awesome and sometimes intimidating presence. This isn't just a recent trend for them. A commitment to sustainability and conservation is woven into the fabric of their national identity. They see themselves not as owners of the land but as its custodians for future generations. This commitment is visible everywhere. Switzerland actually has some of the strictest environmental laws in the world. They're absolute masters of recycling. Different materials are meticulously separated, and recycling rates are incredibly high. They've invested heavily in clean, renewable energy, with hydropower generated from their mountains and lakes, providing the majority of their electricity. This is a country that truly walks the walk when it comes to being green. Their public transport system is a key part of this. The efficient and extensive network of trains, trams, and buses is designed to encourage people to leave their cars at home. They understand that preserving their pristine landscapes requires conscious effort. From protecting their alpine ecosystems to ensuring the purity of their lakes and rivers, the Swiss approach environmental conservation with the same precision and dedication they apply to everything else. They're proving that a highly industrialized, wealthy nation can also be a world leader in sustainability. So, as we come to the end of our journey, the final and perhaps most mind-blowing fact is how Switzerland so masterfully balances its deep-rooted traditions with a relentless push towards the future. It's a country that can seem like a paradox. On one hand, you have ancient customs like alphorn playing and cow parades that have been practiced for centuries. There's a profound respect for heritage, for the old ways of doing things, for the wisdom of the past. This is a society that values its history. You see it in the meticulously preserved medieval town centers, in the family-owned businesses that have been passed down for generations, and in the continuation of cultural festivals that connect the present day to a time long ago. They haven't paved over their past to make way for the new. Instead, they've carefully woven it into the fabric of modern life, giving their country a sense of depth and soul that is truly special. But at the very same time, this is one of the most forward-thinking, innovative, and technologically advanced nations on Earth. This is the home of CERN, of world-leading biotech, of cutting-edge finance. They embrace change, they invest in the future, and they are constantly seeking to perfect and improve. This ability to be both traditional and modern, to honor the past while building the future, is the ultimate Swiss balancing act. It's this beautiful tapestry of old and new that makes Switzerland not just a fascinating place but a truly inspiring one. And there you have it. 20 mind-blowing facts about Switzerland. My goodness, what a place. From its awe-inspiring landscapes that look like they've been painted by a divine hand, and its rich cultural tapestry woven from 4 different languages, to its incredible technological innovations and the elegant charm of its people, Switzerland truly captures the imagination. It's a country that proves you can be small in size but mighty in influence, a place that has perfected the art of quiet excellence. It's so much more than just a cliché. It's a complex, fascinating, and utterly beautiful nation. I hope this has given you a new appreciation for this remarkable country. Whether you're an adventure seeker longing to climb its peaks or swim in its lakes, a history enthusiast ready to walk through its medieval towns, or someone who simply appreciates beauty, refinement, and a perfectly made piece of chocolate, Switzerland has something special for everyone. It's a country that manages to be both exciting and calming, traditional and futuristic, all at the same time. It really does have to be seen to be believed. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual tour of this incredible nation. I've had a wonderful time sharing these stories with you. If you enjoyed it, do give the video a like and subscribe for more adventures. And if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend visiting. You will not be disappointed. Until next time, goodbye.